Also, at Chrysler-Michoud, S1B3 checkout, started late last quarter, was completed August 14th. Preparations for stage shipment to Marshall continued to September 9th. It was shipped by barge the same day, just in advance of Hurricane Betsy, arriving at MSFC September 16th. Static testing is scheduled for October. At MSFC, S1B3 underwent 2 successful static firings, the first on October 12th, the second on October 26th. The stage was shipped from Marshall to Michoud November 4th. Post-static modifications and repair continued throughout the quarter. Stage checkout is scheduled for mid-January. In preparation for the launch of as203, the Chrysler-built booster for the second uprated Saturn I launch vehicle was shipped from Marshall's Michoud facility on April 7th. It arrived at Cape Kennedy 5 days later. It was moved into Hangar AF for pre-erection inspection and checkout. On April 18th, the stage was erected on LC-37B. On April 4th, the Douglas-built second stage was flown from the West Coast to Cape Kennedy, marking the first delivery of a flight-type second stage aboard the Super Guppy. On April 14th, the instrument unit was flown from Marshall to the Cape aboard the Super Guppy. The nose cone was barged from Marshall to KSC aboard the Poseidon last quarter. On April 21st, the second stage, instrument unit, and nose cone were stacked atop the booster. Pre-launch activities for as203 then got underway and continued through the quarter. The prime mission of as203 will be to place the second stage with about 10 tons of liquid hydrogen into a circular orbit of 100 nautical miles. This will allow Marshall space scientists to study the dynamics of liquid hydrogen under weightlessness and verify that the stage's engine can be restarted in orbit. Objectives of the tests include determining if the continuous venting system and Gox-Ullage thrusters will properly seat the liquid hydrogen in the bottom of the tank, and if the engine can be adequately chilled down to simulate Saturn V S4B orbital operations. At Marshall's System Development Facility, in unison with launch preparations at Kennedy Space Center, work efforts continued on development and verification of the computer program tapes for automatic checkout of as203. as203 is scheduled for launch on July 5th.
Highlighting this report period were the successful flights of as203 and as202 launched at Kennedy Space Center. The launch vehicle for as203 was developed and built by the joint efforts of Chrysler, Douglas, and IBM under Marshall management. as203 flight objectives were to evaluate the second stage liquid hydrogen continuous venting, engine chill down, and recirculation systems, determine tank fluid dynamics and heat transfer into liquid through the tank wall, evaluate second stage and instrument unit checkout in orbit, demonstrate orbital operation of the launch vehicle attitude control and thermal control systems, and ability of the guidance system to insert a payload into orbit, demonstrate operational structure of the launch vehicle. as203 was programmed to be launched from Cape Kennedy on a flight azimuth of 72 degrees. The second stage, instrument unit, and nose cone were to be placed into a circular orbit of 100 nautical miles. The flight was planned for 3 orbits plus. The entire flight was to be monitored by television cameras mounted in the liquid hydrogen tank, designed to relay pictures of LH2 behavior in flight. The launch was temporarily delayed by a malfunction of one of the 2 cameras in the all-important television system. A decision was made to launch the vehicle with only 1 camera operational. Liftoff occurred on July 5th at 9:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. First stage cutoff occurred 2 minutes and 23 seconds after ignition, followed by stage separation. Second stage cutoff occurred at T plus 433 seconds, placing the stage, instrument unit, and nose cone in a near circular orbit of 100 nautical miles. During second stage burn, television coverage shows fuel level decreasing in the liquid hydrogen tank. Following second stage cutoff, the bulk of the fuel remained settled except for a sheet containing about 50 pounds which splashed up to the forward end of the tank. Then immediately resettled because of the small acceleration continuously imparted to the stage by the venting systems. Fog formed as a result of boiling. However, no liquid was lost through venting. As part of the simulated restart, hydrogen was pumped through the engine, demonstrating restart capabilities vital to future flights. All objectives of the flight were met. The liquid hydrogen experiment proved that this fuel could be handled satisfactorily for stage engine restart in a weightless environment, a requirement for future Apollo Saturn missions.